Imagine we're sipping coffee, and I'm telling you about this thing I learned about implementing information protection in Microsoft. Sounds pretty important, right? Okay, here we go. It all starts when organizations realize they need to lock down their data because, let's face it, protecting sensitive information is no joke these days. I'm a senior cloud architect, and I know I'm biased a bit, but using Microsoft's tools like Azure Information Protection and Microsoft Information Protection is like building a high-tech fortress around your data. Now, think of AIP as this super powerful guard dog that knows exactly where to patrol. It's Microsoft's way of labeling and securing not just data, but any content, emails, documents, attachments, you name it, right there in Microsoft's own realms, Azure and 365. That's right, everything's interconnected because they've woven this protection mesh throughout their services. Now I know all this sounds a bit abstract, so let me give you one practical scenario. Say there's sensitive patient info in a Word doc or an email thread in Outlook. With AIP, even if someone tries to sneak a peek, they'll be met with a strong access barrier, no peeking, no prying eyes. The doc or email will flag itself up as sensitive, almost like wearing armor, and if a non-cleared user tries to access it, they'll get a friendly warning instead of the info blasting their way. That's how sensitive it is. You see, there's a central heartbeat for everything called Azure Information Protection Governance and Admin Center. It's the brain that decides who gets access to what information. But don't you go thinking that's all, it's just the beginning. You gotta be ready to classify your info properly, kind of like sorting laundry. Not everything needs that heavy lifting, but the important docs. We bundle them in AIP's armor. Then, we roll out the red carpet for those who need the info cleaned and ready to go, only after some quick security dances like multi-factor auth, if that's what the playbook calls for. Remember the good old paper shredding piles of paper to bits? Well, in the digital world of AIP, it's the data shredding, but faster and without making a litter. As for MIP, that's Microsoft's sidekick for when things get a bit muddy. It's here for when non-Microsoft folks, think iOS or Android peeps, are running around with sensitive data and AIP isn't looking. MIP's got the same tools up its sleeve for when the dust settles, so data remains safe. Now, the cloud and 365 environments have got to be aligned with AIP's standards. That's where policies come into play, and we create rules, kind of like setting the dress code for a party, ensuring nobody forgets to put on their info armor before entry and keeps out the curious onlookers who haven't got the clearance to peek. All these measures add up to compliance, like ticking bingo, but for data protection. And there are those who take it seriously, setting up defenses through policies. You gotta ensure they're playing ball, checking if the policies say who can access what, because guess what, non-compliance isn't just a risk, it's like inviting the fox into the henhouse. Trust me on this one, I've seen that nightmare come to life. Speaking of clouds, the cloud's a beast of its own. It's different beast for each of its parts. Take for instance the cloud storage, where your data's a butterfly flittering around, vulnerable. You want that butterfly safeguarded, and where do you think it goes? Off to the cloud, right? But just flitting from one device to another? Not our game. Now, AIP doesn't just wing it, it's integrated into cloud storage platforms. It's like setting up invisible netting wherever Microsoft's cloud services are. If you are using SharePoint, AIP is your net. And it wraps even around Microsoft OneDrive and, let's not forget, Office 365. It's a seamless, invisible security system ensuring sensitive data doesn't fall out of the net. Diving into AIP-backed cloud storage? It's like taking a gear and adding a protective case. With M365's AIP, your data gets that extra layer of security, making sure it's tucked in, safe, and snug. And guess what? Your users experience fewer disruptions because they have that clear visual clue on the info armor when sensitive docs get shared. Alright, so imagine your user base with various needs. Some folks never saw a doc armored before, while others are old campaigners who have done this dance 100 times. M365's AIP doesn't just protect, it educates, giving those users a quick tip on why sensitive files need that extra security gear. We even have these little pop-up reminders to check before sharing something sensitive. It ensures everyone's on the same page, avoiding any mishaps along the way. Here comes some techie magic, though. Asset discovery and data classification through AIP come with their own set of wonders. Discover assets. It's like using a flashlight in a dark room, identifying every nook and cranny of potential hidden data. Classify data. Not just file types, no sir, it's about tagging info with the appropriate label and risk level, crafting a unique info profile much like a fingerprint for a sensitive document. Once classified, here's the deal, if the information is super sensitive, it gets that extra AIP label. Not as armored as before but still significant, it gets classified as confidential. Sensitive? Just like its armor-backed relatives, but without that hard uppercase. They're confidential too. And then there's normal, it's like our everyday work, safe but without that label flair. We even use the Microsoft Compliance Manager alongside AIP for data risk assessments, aligning with policies, setting up rules for the classifying process, and making sure everything lines up. So we do data disclosures right, every single time. Now, policies, these are the blueprint for info protection. They lay out who gets access, to what, when, and with which armor label. It's like having a VIP list, where the priority is always given to those who have got the clearance. And don't overlook policies, for MIP gotta cover all the bases. And what's with encryption? That's no mystery, it's about locking the armor box once it's secure with those labels, making sure no one gets in without the right key or access code. Let's not forget the user experience. When AIP is working its magic, nothing should be lost, sensitive files just as accessible as normal ones, yet with the armored label that prompts the right permissions. Implementing information protection, folks. It's a symphony, the administration, governance, and policy setup taking the lead. We bring harmony to the workflow, keeping it as smooth as a jazz solo. Let's talk about integrating protection across your Microsoft setup. It's like creating a seamless chainmail, everything connected, impenetrable. Assets in Exchange or SharePoint? Protected under Azure AIP's wing like never before. Looking at document management with AIP? It's like having a smart assistant in the document lifecycle, handling classification, retention, and even the shredding with just a few taps. It automates, relieves your team of extra duties, and boosts productivity because let's face it, less manual work for them means more time to focus on the big game, not filing docs. But let's not turn our backs on physical data transfers. While AIP's main gig's on digital, ensuring sensitive documents are transferred with care while moving to or from the cloud is still key. And you got strategies like MFA, multiple, mind-blowing authentication methods to add an extra security lockstep without much fuss. Ever heard of hybrid classifications? We merge more systems, bringing AIP to life wherever information touches, both in the cloud and beyond. So if you wanna have the best of both worlds, your sensitive data gets double the protection. Gotta talk about data disclosure, right? It's about sharing the right way, using AIP's label magic to ensure sensitive info goes out right, staying in tip-top shape with all the info protection we've set up to keep it safe. And in conclusion, it's not rocket science, I promise. Just think of it as the right gear for the right game. That's the heart of information protection, and I'm telling you, it's a game changer. Visit neeraj.qzz.io and subscribe to TechLab to keep our knowledge caps just a click away.